A student wrote two context-free grammars G1 and G2 for generating a single C-like array declaration. The dimension of the array is at least 1. For example, int a of dimensions 10 and dimension 3 semicolon here. This is a sample array here. For grammar, use D as the start symbol and use 6 terminal symbols int semicolon id left bracket right bracket and num. Now the grammars G1 and G2 are given here. Which of the grammars correctly generate the declaration mentioned above? So we need to find out among these grammars G1 and G2 which of these will correctly generate arrays of this format. That's what we need to find out here. So we'll take a look at the grammars here. So let us look at grammar G1 first of all. G1 says that in G1 the variable D generates int L and semicolon. Okay, that is given here. So already that int, starting int and the final semicolon we have already got there. Now only we need that array name and that dimension part. So let us see what L will generate. L generates id left bracket and e. So this looks like this. Okay. Now what will e generate? E generates, there are two productions for e. E will generate num right bracket left bracket e or num right bracket. So if you take a look, we can keep on generating num right bracket left bracket e's. This e will again generate num right bracket left bracket e, etc. It will keep on going until some e generates num and right bracket and then closes that production part. So we can rewrite e as e will be generating num right bracket left bracket star, that is 0 or 1 times num right bracket left bracket star, and at the end num right bracket. Okay, so if this part is 0, what we'll get is int id left bracket num right bracket semicolon. That is correct. It is a declaration of an array with 1 dimension. If this part is 1, then what we'll get is int id left bracket num right bracket left bracket num right bracket semicolon. So that's also correct. That is a declaration for an array of 2 dimensions. Similarly, how many times we generate this? Each time we generate it, only the dimension of the array will increase by 1. So this will be producing array declarations of dimensions 1, 2, 3, etc. and it will keep on going. So this is correct. Grammar G1 will generate arrays in the format that we want here. Now we look at grammar G2. Again here also D generates int L semicolon, which I have written here, int L semicolon. L will generate id e. Okay, id e. So we got int id and the semicolon part correct. Now we just need that dimension part, that is left bracket some number right bracket. So let us see what e generates. E can generate 2 productions here. There are 2 productions for e here. E will generate e left bracket num right bracket or e will generate left bracket num right bracket only. So what it means is that e can keep on generate this part, e left bracket num right bracket, that e will again generate e left bracket num right bracket, etc. It will keep on going until some e produces this part, left bracket num right bracket, and at that point e's are over from the right hand side, so the production stops. So what it effectively means is that e will be generating left bracket num right bracket star and left bracket num right bracket. E will be generating productions in this format. So if this part is 0, star means 0 or 1 times this part. So if this part is 0, what it will generate is string int id left bracket num right bracket semicolon. That's also correct. That is the declaration of array of 1 dimension. If this part is 1, it will be int id left bracket num right bracket left bracket num right bracket semicolon. That's also correct. That is array of 2 dimension. In this way, the number of times we generate this part, it will be generating array of 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, etc. So this will also be generating our array declaration in the format we want. So both of these 2 are correct. There were 4 options in this question. Option was only G1 is correct, G2 is wrong. Option 2 was G1 is wrong, G2 is correct. Option 3 was both are correct. Option 4 was neither of them were correct. So as you can see, G1 and G2 both are correct, and that option saying both are correct is the correct answer here.